The political split in our nation was certainly on display last month when supporters of President Trump stormed the Capitol trying to overturn results of the election.
It was a clear sign of the bitter divisions within our nation. And tonight, Denver 7's Megan Lopez is taking a 360 look at the steps we can all take to start coming together again.
White lives matter! Hands up! The police, all right?
There are conspiracy theories out there.
The political divide has really only widened, unfortunately.
Police are pushing back the protesters.
Things have gotten a lot nastier.
It's impossible to miss.
We're told on our media that the country has never been more divided.
Between the headlines, social media posts, signs, clothing, flags, protests, and more.
I think it's been going on for a very long time.
The divide.
I'm not sure it's the worst ever, but it does feel like we are in a pretty dark place.
Americans, perhaps without precedent other than the McCarthy era and the Civil War, have really come to the conclusion that they are each other's enemies.
Somebody has to be the adult here. Somebody has to say, you know what, we're not going to play this game anymore.
So how deep has that divide gotten, and can we come back from it? In this Denver 7 360, you'll hear from Democrats, Republicans, and historians about our current political climate and where we go from here.
Certainly, political divides in the country are nothing new.
From a historical standpoint,
there's never been a period in which there was like perfect harmony.
Have we ever been this divided? Oh yeah, we fought a war 160 years ago or so over that division. And interestingly enough, that war was caused in some measure by some of the same factors we see today.
From the Civil War to McCarthyism to civil rights, historians Jared Orsi and William Ashcraft say that divide has defined the country at times.
It's lucky I don't need teleprompters like Sleepy Joe.
And politicians like Donald Trump have played into it.
And so we're always susceptible in a way to politicians who will wage a rhetorical war against any ism.
When it comes to this White House, all roads lead to Putin.
Communism, socialism, fascism, any ism.
Often it has required an external enemy, such as a foreign threat. You can see this in the years leading up to World War I and World War II, for example. Foreign threats do bring some Americans together.
But even then, there wasn't complete unity.
They try and make you think they set you free.
Racism and anti-Semitism disenfranchised entire populations during eras Americans now romanticize.
Political conflict and dissent has been a fundamental part of American society since there's been in America.
We're here to say that we're here to defend our heritage.
I think that it's become particularly inflamed in the last few decades.
Hands up!
In recent years, that tension has started to boil over.
People have their hands up, they're still shooting.
Over the last 30 years or so, we've begun to live in an echo chamber.
Echo chambers, where people surround themselves by those who repeat, reinforce, or echo their own beliefs.
It's easy to hear only now what you want to hear.
Partisan divides turned into political tribalism, with supporters being protective of their own parties, which morphed into political sectarianism, where groups started hating one another.
We're gonna walk down to the Capitol.
Then last month, a breaking point.
USA!
So what caused this divide? It comes down to communication.
In the political realm, I've seen a noticeable shift in our dialogue, in how we talk to each other.
What did they think people would do?
I think that the media plays a certain role in that.
Will someone please hide the pens from Joe at the White House?
I think that politicians play a certain role in that.
It's really hard to communicate with someone when they hate you.
COVID might also be creating an echo chamber of its own, since people are staying home more and interacting less with those outside their immediate social networks.
People are social by nature, and I think being locked in your house behind Zoom calls all day, although there is some interaction, it's not the same.
So how do we come together?
This is an inflection point for our party.
For Republicans,
We had an election that was stolen from us.
perhaps it starts with accepting defeat.
If our party wants to move forward, We need to start recognizing that these are indeed conspiracy theories and that they have no grounding in fact.
Speaker Garnett has been elected.
For Democrats, it might be about checking their political power.
Although Democrats are in control at the state level, that does not excuse us from simply exercising that power with no regard for the voices of our colleagues on the other side of the aisle.
For both sides, communication and compromise are key.
Just to simply go down to the Capitol and just scream and yell and vote no on everything because it's not exactly how you would want it in a perfect world. I think most voters are very frustrated by that.
And for everyone else,
we are here to be a part of the solution. We want to see Colorado thrive.
If we took more time to listen to each other, I think we'd be in a far better place.
Don't shut out people that disagree with you on certain issues.
It's going to require the media to stop fueling this fire, to stop playing into the cliques.
No one's mind is ever going to be changed by yelling at them or by calling them names.
I think we need to understand that tolerance and kindness and courtesy never goes out of style.
What this all comes down to is treating each other with more respect and recognizing that we are all Americans.
There is a divide in our country right now, deep and dire. Everyone played a role in creating it, and it will take everyone to overcome it. Megan Lopez, Denver 7.
Now we'd like your take on this. When politics don't align with your family and your friends and your neighbors, how do you bridge the gap? Let us know with an email to 360@thedenverchannel.com.